I'd like to start out with an editorial here. Yes, early Sunday morning, SpaceX Crew 1 Dragon named Resilience safely returned to Earth. Now, this is the first official Crew Dragon. There was a test Crew Dragon, but as a country, we already take for granted that the United States is able to send astronauts into space from U.S. soil and return safely in a spacecraft that can be refurbished and reused, flying on a booster that can be refurbished and reused. And I want to offer congratulations to Shannon Walker, Victor Glover, Mike Hopkins, and Soichi Noguchi, and glad you returned home safely. So you just bought a house in Las Vegas and you want to make a swimming pool, and you find Ice Age horse fossils instead. So this couple, during the construction of their pool, discovered these fossils of 14,000-year-old horse. They contacted this paleontologist, Joshua Bond, and he estimates the bones to be between 6,000 and 14,000 years old. This is near the Tool Springs fossil bed that was established by the National Park Service. So this area is rich in significant paleontological resources from the Ice Age. No comment from Florida man, but apparently this Hillsborough County deputy helps this alligator across a busy street in Tampa, Florida. And apparently there's a TikTok video. Let's check it out. Come on, buddy. Across the street. There we go. Hey, there we go. Go, buddy, go. Hey, pedestrians have the right of way. I wonder if he's going to catch the bus. Okay, keep your eyes out in Florida. This is an interesting story. Bats don't have to learn the speed of sound, they're born knowing it. So they trained these adult bats to fly to a perch in this chamber that's filled with oxygen. And then they've added helium, which is less dense, and so that actually distorted the bat's echolocation timing and caused them to aim short for the perch. At first this was expected, but the adult bats never learned to adjust to this. They were really surprised, so they tried the same experiment with pups instead. They reared 11 bats, raising half of them from birth in the helium-enriched chamber, and when the bats were old enough to fly, they still came up short, just like the adults. Both experiments indicate that bats have a rigid innate reference for the speed of sound. The teams say they expect this to be the same in all bats, as the brain structures involved in the echolocation are similar across species. We spoke about this before on Storytime. This Happy the elephant in the Bronx Zoo is the subject of this legal scuffle between this animal rights group and the zoo. Essentially, they're saying that Happy isn't happy to be in the zoo and should be moved to a sanctuary. The lower courts have ruled that their argument for habeas corpus doesn't apply to animals. They're saying that if you start extending human rights to animals, it's going to complicate the legal system in many, many ways. And they give you the history of Happy. Happy lost her close companion, Grumpy. He doesn't sound like he was happy. The Bronx Zoo has celebrated past rejections of the case and accused Non-Human Rights Project of erroneous arguments, spreading false information, and exploiting Happy for donations to their cause. As part of Storytime, we like to cover issues concerning privacy, and apparently during the we're subject to a steep drop in national security surveillance. The number of targets of secretive surveillance and national security investigations fell sharply last year, in large part because of You're still going to want to follow the links down below to my blog so that you can read this story. There is a lot of privacy concerns still in the behavior of the FBI's wiretapping authorities, etc. So you're going to want to read this article in detail. So we may have just discovered a new type of glacier on Mars. This strange sinuous features on a flat plain known as Arcadia planitia bear a striking resemblance to ice streams within ice sheets in Antarctica, a new study finds. These are shallow covered glaciers that are strewn with debris, so it doesn't look like ice. It's got essentially rock and dirt on top, but there's ice underneath. This spot was already intriguing to SpaceX and NASA because it is a broad, flat plain, ideal for landing spacecraft. And if there's ice not too deep below the surface, that could be even better. These are odd because they appear to occur on flat terrain here, and you need something to cause the glacier to move. So they're pondering whether or not there could be water in liquid form underneath this. Now, I don't know if you need a scientist to tell you that what goes up must come down, but apparently there's a rather large piece of this Chinese Long March 5B rocket that took China's core portion of their new space station into orbit, but this part of this rocket, a rather large portion of it, did not follow a predetermined flight path into the ocean. And basically, if you live anywhere on these yellow or blue lines, this rocket could land on you. So you're going to want to follow the link down below to my blog so that you can read more about this article. All right, keep looking up. Previously on Storytime, I know we talked about Blue Origin is just about ready for manned space flight, and apparently on Twitter, they've tweeted out that they're going to start selling tickets for suborbital flights on Blue Origin here. So we're learning just now, Wednesday, 5th of May, 2021, that you can buy a ticket to space on Blue Origin. All right. So back on March 6th story time, we covered this Parker Solar Probe taking this incredible close-up of Venus as it flew by on its way to the sun. But apparently, this Parker Solar Probe picked up more than just this wonderful close-up shot. This flyby occurred on July of 2020, and NASA's Parker Solar Probe detected something odd. The probe's instruments recorded a low-frequency radio signal, a telltale sign that Parker had skimmed through the ionosphere, a layer of the planet's upper atmosphere. So let's see what it sounds like when you skim Venus's ionosphere. Here we go. Oh, you can see there in the diagram, right there, they've got a, yeah, they're showing how close it is to the ionosphere. Wow, that was amazing. Sounded like something, sound effect from Plan 9 from Outer Space. I don't know if you've seen that movie or the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version, but anyway, it's very reminiscent of that. So, thought you'd want to hear about this. Maybe you don't need me to tell you, but Starship 15, SN-15, stuck the landing. Congratulations, SpaceX, and just in time to celebrate this $2.9 billion contract to develop a Starship to land on the moon. All right, it's been a busy week for SpaceX. Congrats. Please make sure to look for the link down below in the description to my blog, where you'll find the links to all the stories we just talked about. Thank you, and have a great week. Thank you for watching Shitoku Tech. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share.